Hello everyone, it is Canadian Futures Trader here. It is Friday, April 9th, 2021, and today is day number 2 of the LeeLoo Climb 100K evaluation. I hope you are all doing well. I'm going to get to my trades in a second. What you're looking at is NQ, just for a little background ambiance as I speak. So let's see. So I'm going to show you, I did 5 trades, I think, for day number 2. I was able to record the first one. Unfortunately, it's not that exciting. It's a bond trade, and I did it last night. But I think there's actually a good lesson in it. So I'm going to put that more towards the end of this video. I will show you, just in general, looking at the graph, what some of my trades were, and of course, what the profit or loss was. I believe that's it, actually. So let's just get to it. Okay guys, so here are the 5 trades I made. This is TraderVue. If you've seen some of my other videos, I don't bring it up all the time, but it's kind of an independent trade journaling / statistics software. I mean, online software, it's SaaS. You basically download your trades every single day, upload them. It'll track them. You can run all your statistics. I like all that stuff. It costs $30 a month. So if you're into stuff like that, I recommend TraderVue. I've really liked it. So the first trade I made was last night. It was the Ultra Bond. Made 187 profit. That's the one I have a recording of, which I'll put at the end. Again, it's not very exciting, but I think it's actually, there's some good lessons in there, because I actually left a lot of profit on the table. I should have closed out, but I was getting greedy, and it went against me, but we still got a profitable trade. This morning I traded NQ. You can see right here, so this kind of goes in reverse order. So that was last night. First trade made 40, lost 100, then had a couple big winners. So obviously a winning day. And here's a screenshot from Rithmic once I was done. So we're currently at 101,880. So pretty nice little day there for day number 2. So these are the trades I made this morning in NQ. So this doesn't include the Ultra Bond trade, obviously, from last night. So, I mean, you see a lot of buying and selling, and that's what it was. So, this is ultimately those 4 trades that you saw. Some of them I scale into, so that's why it maybe looks like there's more than 4 trades here. I think you see 4 exits. So these were all going long. So you see a sell here, a sell here, a sell here, and a sell here. That's those 4 trades. Some of these buys I was scaling in, and then I sold right here, it looks like. So anyways, that is my day 2. I hope every single person's day 2 went just as well, or even if it just went well in general. This was more than I was expecting, but hey, we got a few nice runs. You gotta make hay while the sun is shining. So always makes for a little bit easier rest of the evaluation when you have a nice start out of the gate. So feel free to comment below with your progress if you want to. You certainly don't have to. And look for me to continue these videos on Monday once we get to day number 3. I will say, before I show you the one Ultra Bond trade that I made, I did, after I was done with LeeLoo, I actually recorded a bunch of other trades just to and they're in Sim. I'm not pretending it's real money or anything. It's in Sim on one of my own personal accounts, but using the Sim. I recorded a couple of bond trades and a couple of NQ trades that I can kind of walk through and explain like what I'm looking for, what I'm doing. There's a few losers in there too. They're not all winners. So I'll put that video together, and it will come out at some point, probably on Saturday, quite honestly. So with that said, look for that if you want a little bit more intel into my thought process. Actually, I will mention too, so part of why I didn't record these trades, I tried to, and my computer was just lagging like really, really hard. So I had to shut down the recording. Once I was done with this, I finally actually spent a little bit of time and was like, okay, how do we make this work? Basically, I figured out if I just shut everything down, all my browsers, Excel, all the other programs I use, and only run basically screen recording and trading software, it actually runs pretty smoothly. So going forward, I will be able to record more of my day-to-day LeeLoo trades now. Okay, guys, so this is the trade. I'll set this up. So this ends up being about 10 minutes. We're not going to watch all 10 minutes because, again, this was last night. The bonds move very, very slowly in the evening, which can be good if you're patient and if you get the right direction, like you have a lot of time to make decisions. So just to set this up though, so on the right-hand side, this DOM is the Ultra Bond, UB, middle DOM is the 30-year, and the left is the TN, it's the 10-year Ultra Note. I'm using this just as context to see what's happening in the 10 years. I do trade the 30 years sometimes, but today I went with the Ultra Bond. So you can tell at this point that I'm short right here at 26. You can also tell by the profit and loss. Now at this point, this trade has already moved against me 4 ticks. I'm seriously, you see my mouse is like hovering here. I'm getting ready to like scratch, or no, well, not necessarily scratch this trade, just get out of this trade and eat the loss. I'm not giving it much more leeway. I think here though, in a second, it actually comes back my direction. Again, I'm hovering. I'm seriously contemplating like, do I just get out of this trade right now before it goes sour? It's starting to move back in my favor. I'm like, okay, like let's let this play out, but a short leash for sure. Now, other thing I should mention, just to add some context to this, I mean, I mentioned I use the 10 years for information. So I'm watching what's happening over here, and I'm watching what's happening here. These are moving down, you know, they kind of went up, and now they're starting to push down. I'm like, okay, because they all tend to, in general, move in the same direction. They might not move lockstep, but they will eventually. The other reason why I even entered this trade, just to give a little bit even more context, is, I mean, probably one of my favorite setups is when the bonds or any product, honestly, is pushing the lows or pushing the highs. So at this point, it had already come down and touched, and here was the low. No contracts traded at this point, but the bid-ask did get down here. This column right here is the actual contracts traded. Think of it as the volume profile. So the fact that this is white means that price did pop up as a bid, but no contracts traded there. So we're only a few ticks off. I mean, that's the punchline, is that if it can push through here, and that's, you might decide to set a take profit. So this was 6 contracts. You can see that down here that I'm short. So I'm setting a take profit. Now, part of why I'm setting it is 4 ticks would be great. I believe if it can bust through kind of the low here, you're good for 2 or 3 ticks. I also I'm honestly surprised I didn't set this a little bit quicker. You can, you get yourself in the queue. So you see Q64, so that means that there's at least 64 people ahead of me that would be filled before I would be filled. So, okay guys, so I fast forward a little bit, about 3 or 4 minutes. So now we're 2 ticks in the good. At this point, I could actually just put in a market order here and get 2 ticks. I have my take profit set at 4. That would also be breaking the low. Like right now, it's sitting at the low. I'm really expecting it to push through that low. We're getting a little bit of push down. You know, things are looking great. I think I'm getting a 4-tick winner at this point, which would be about 750 in profit, which wouldn't be bad. You saw there, I actually canceled my take profit, starting to get greedy. So what I did was I split it up. So now at this point, it obviously never pushes down to this level because I don't get filled here. So at this point, now it is kind of unfortunately, the kind of like flaw with, so I actually just canceled that. It didn't fill here. I actually canceled these because I'm thinking I'm going to get more. So I would say greed is getting the best of me at this point. I'm thinking, you know what, let's see if we can get this pushed down. Hey, maybe we get a little pop. We get 1,600. So instead of leaving those take profits, because you do, occasionally in the Ultra Bond, you get a little 3-4 tick pop. So rather than cut myself short, I figure, you know what, let's just lock in 1 tick. So I have a stop loss now because I'm above it. Now at this point, I'm going to pause this for a second. It's funny, I actually paused it at a perfect point. You can see the white arrow there is my actual mouse at the time I was in the trade. I'm watching the order flow. There's only 6 lots here, or 5, I can't tell if it's 5 or 6. There's a good chance this is going to push back up. You know, they haven't really been able to push down here. I mean, I'm still hopeful. The 10 years kind of right sitting at the low. The 30 years are just 1 tick above. I'm hopeful, but there's not a lot of volume here. If I saw like a huge, like if there was 40 or 60 or 80, whatever, then I'd be like, oh, I'm set. This is getting pushed down. But really, there's not a lot of volume coming in. This should have been my first clue that, you know what, you should just try to get filled right here, get 3 ticks, at worst take 2 ticks. But I didn't. I got greedy. I was hoping it would push down a little bit further. So like I said at the very beginning of this video, I've locked in 1 tick, so I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I could have easily gotten a 2nd tick. So I'm going to let this play now, just that I've kind of said. So there you see it pop up. Some come back in, but no, they're just filling it. So right now, I'm going to pause this. So what I've done right now is I realized, you know what, I'm not in trouble, but I'm probably getting knocked out with 1 tick. But if we get lucky and it just pops down a little bit, at least like let me lock in a few ticks. So that's what this is. So I basically have like a little stranglehold on this. Like I'm either getting filled up here with 1 tick profit, or I'm getting filled down here with 3 ticks profit. So let me let this play. I mean, we obviously already know, I've said it a million times, I get filled at the 1 tick level. And I mean, there's just no volume here. Like I should have been out with the 2 ticks. So as I mentioned, as I let this play, and you'll see these get executed here in a second. I mean, right here, there's some hope, right? So this happens occasionally in the order book with the Ultra Bond where there's just no orders currently at this price level. So it's either getting pushed down here or it's coming back here. So like I said, it's a profitable trade in the end, but it wasn't a good trade. I really felt like I should have grabbed those 2 or 3 ticks. Now you might be thinking, 1 tick, 2 ticks, 3 ticks. But when I'm trading the bonds, that's all I'm looking for. I'm not looking for 10, 20 tick moves. I'm looking for 2, 3, 4 tick moves. So, and I could have had 3 ticks. That's I guess the kind of why I'm a little bit disappointed in this one is I could have easily had 3 ticks. But I got greedy. Like honestly, I was really hoping to get this pushed down here, and I could have just locked in 3 ticks. 3 ticks is $500. That's like a day's work. That could have been it. So that is basically it. It looks like it got filled there. Okay, guys, so that was my Ultra Bond trade. Hopefully that was useful. I mean, I didn't lose any sleep over it. At the end of the day, hey, it was a winning trade. I guess just the main takeaway for myself and for anyone who's interested in trading bonds would be, don't get greedy. Like I could have had 3 ticks out of that, and I gave it up. Of course, the flip side to that is that, sometimes that does work out. Sometimes it does push through the low and you grab 5 ticks, but sometimes it's going to come back on you and you only get the 1 tick. That's just part of trading. So I will leave it at that. Like I mentioned early in the video, I recorded a bunch of trades in a video I will put out over the weekend, which kind of the same thing. I'll kind of go through my analysis of like, here's why I entered, here's where I set my stop, here's how I managed the trade, here's why. Here's why, all the kind of ifs, ands, or reasons that I'm in the trade. Some of them are bonds, and some of them are NQ. I think there's about 6 trades in total that I recorded. So look for that video. I'm looking forward to kind of reliving those and giving the explanations. So everybody have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next video.